What's going on, guys? This is Zerg from YGG Gaming, bringing you another video. So today we're going to be doing a Reinhardt slash Zarya review, and this is going to be on new body. First of all, we're starting on defense. I don't know what I'm typing there, but that's okay. So, first of all, I'm going to start with Reinhardt, of course, on defense. Lots of people pick Winston, stuff like that, as you can see on defense. He's an underrated tank, we'll just say that, because he doesn't seem like the kind of person you can play on defense because he's not stationary. He's not like a solid defense. He's more of an aggressive defender. You want to be in their backlines when they're attacking. So we're just going to kind of go over how I play Reinhardt and Zarya, not Winston this time. But I'll try to get some Winston play soon for you guys, since I have been playing quite a bit in competitive. This is going to be a longer video, so just stick with me, guys. Because this game did end up being a nail biter, but that's okay. So, 20 seconds left to go, and really, this is where you want to kind of stand on defense. You don't really want to. I mean, you can either stand here or over to the left of where I am, on the other side of the point. And those are the two best spots to stand, I would say, because of the fact that you have high ground. I mean, as long as you have the high ground, you should be okay, compared to standing on the point, or even down where Winston is. If you stand there as your entire defensive line, that's definitely not a good thing, because they will just shred you. So standing on high ground is definitely good, especially this choke point. It's usually, it seemed like it's a good idea to go in, but honestly, I wouldn't suggest going in this way most of the time, because of the fact that, I mean, you got a Reinhardt on the other team. They can easily just charge right into your team, completely shredding everyone. And like this right here, they'll gain so much of their ult, as you see. First fight, I already have 55% of my ult, so it's really good. Of course, behind us, however, there's a Pharah, and then Reaper somehow kills her, so that's impressive. But yeah, so when the other team has a Reinhardt or a Symmetra or something, like, just when they have certain people that makes it just obvious that you shouldn't go in there, don't go in there, because, I mean, I already have my Earth Shatter. So it's just one of those things where you probably shouldn't be engaging. So they should be going below instead of above. So we'll see how they react in the second. They're already pushing in again, however, they're staggered. So it's really just a mess. So now they're coming in again with one person down, now two people down. And this is what lower level players do, and I've noticed this so much as I'm playing. People don't really think about how they're supposed to, and as you see, I hit my spray there, that was pretty cool. People don't really think about, like, oh, we're two people down, we should probably just back up right now and not try to go in for the point when it's a 4v6 and we have no chance of winning. It's just one of those things I've seen where it's just really weird. I mean, if you see, and for you guys watching, just learn this. Like, if you're seeing that your teammate dies, and it's a 5v6 and you haven't pushed in yet, just back up. Just go back. Because there's no point in going in when you're down a man, and their team can easily just destroy your team again. I mean, it's so much smarter to back up now when you have, let's say, 3 minutes left, than to go in and then have maybe 2 minutes 15 seconds left on your next push, and maybe you get the point, but you could have had the point 30 seconds earlier. So it's just one of those things where it's like, don't waste your time trying to fight a 5v6. If you're good enough to, then yeah, I guess go ahead, and your sixth can join you, but it's just one of those things. Like, this Roadhog should not have jumped down. He should have just backed out and tried to get away. But yeah, every time you stagger the other team, if your team is ever staggered, just get out. Like this Pharah, she just needs to die. That's it. Like, just fall off the cliff, or get out of there. Either or, because you really don't want to stay in a position where you can get picked. So the team that I'm on is doing pretty well. We're being a little bit aggressive just to keep them back. Meanwhile, staying on the high ground, keeping control of the high ground. That's really important to have on defense. But as you can see, just holding up here, the Mei walls off the Pharah, and Reaper ends up getting a pick, which will push them back again. And then here you go, just where they're starting to be staggered again. However, they do get 2 kills, so it's looking pretty good for them. They've used a few ults, so looks like they might be able to take this point. Now, Winston kind of just gets out of there, because he knows that he's not going to survive. He doesn't want to stagger himself, because if he staggers himself, he will end up being at the second spawn, which is about 2 points back. So it's probably not the smartest to. You really don't want to respawn on the second point, on the second respawn on defense. I don't know what that charge was, so that was pretty weird. But their Reinhardt's split off again. However, I do get hooked and killed, so that's really not good. We shouldn't be giving picks away. Fortunately, we do have the res. But I mean, again, when their team is this close to their spawn, you don't want to be spawning at your second spawn, because of the fact that you have to run like probably about 3 or 4 times as much than they do. So it's just one of those things. You don't want to do that. So this Winston's kind of still trying to fight. He should really be getting out of there because we're so staggered. And I see this a lot when you're playing on the second point defense. When you're playing the I guess you could call it street phase for this map. There's street phase for King Road, stuff like that. But you want to make sure that you just group up right here. Don't go out there to the cart yet. Just let them push the cart, because no matter how far they get, it's okay, because it's not giving them any extra time. So you just want to group up all together before you go to the cart in general. I mean, that's just a general rule that you want to follow, because if you go in there with 4 people, like right here, we just lost 3 people. So I mean, that's just immediately just let them have the point. Just get out of there with the rest of them. Just let him have it. That was unfortunate. He did come in from above behind us, so none of us saw it. So again, just make sure that you're grouping up every single time, especially in situations like these where you're staggered in half and your spawn is so much further away than theirs. So yeah, right here, just want to group up right here before, and you always want to push the cart. There's no need to just stand there and wait for them to push the cart into where you are. Again, they're using their ults to pick us off, and we shouldn't really be letting them do this. Again, and the problem is, we're not comboing our ults, and there's a difference between comboing your ult where you actually, like, 2 people combo their ults, and actually comboing your ults where you're using an ult at the proper time where your team can capitalize on it. Like the Reaper, if he ulted and then, let's say, who else was on our team? I guess Winston just got in the backline while Reaper ulted, so that everybody ran into the Winston. It's just one of those types of things where you kind of set a spot where they can't really move, like a rock in a hard place. So we're able to get a few kills here, so that's good. But as you can see, the cart almost makes it to the end. We do get the res, so I mean, it looks like we should be able to hold it. And then Lucio just uses his ult unnecessarily. So again, it's just one of those things where, and then Tracer ults unnecessarily. So it's really, this game is a lot about ultimates. Not only ultimates, but the game, if you don't use your ults properly, you're gonna end up doing really poorly. So now we get 2 picked off on our own team for no reason. Reinhardt's all by himself, but our team can't really do anything about that because of the fact that we just lost 2 people. One of them to Reinhardt himself. So now they're starting to ult. I get pushed up into the tree. And, excuse me. So, their Reinhardt pins me. I'm dead. So, now it's kind of just like a few people on point. Reaper gets a good ult and saves us briefly, and then they get the res. So now we're down another person, as well as me, and then we're down. So right now it's looking really bleak, even though I have my ult, because of the fact that we keep getting staggered. Even though, yeah, we're at the very last spot on the point, we're getting staggered. It's just one of the, like, we kind of set ourselves up for it in the beginning too, because of the fact that we kind of just went out there and did whatever. Mercy gets the res, again, it was too late. The problem with that is that even though it most likely we still would have lost the point, a quick, I guess, tip to Mercies is that when you're trying to go into a last point, or last second hold with a res, don't wait until you get the 3 people res. Just go out there until you can get at least 1 person, because those other 2 people are going to respawn in probably about 3 seconds. So there's no point in trying to fly all the way out onto the point to get all 3 of them, as opposed to just fly to the nearest person, res them, and then be done. Because you might get, I mean, having 2 bodies on the cart as opposed to 4, at least you'll have those 2 bodies on the cart. If you try to res 4 people, yeah, it can be beneficial to you, but I mean, just the fact that you've got the chance that you won't make it in time. So you just want to play it safe, and just get the one man res, even if you still both die. It's just one of those things where it's kind of controversial between the players, where they're like, "Oh, you should res me because we could have held it." No, it's more of a you got to do what's best for your team, and that is getting at least one person on that point. So here we are on attack. I'm playing Zarya now because I was doing this video. I think this was when I was still like yeah, this is placement, but in the beginning of this season, I didn't actually start playing Winston yet. It wasn't until a little bit later on. But, so, I started to play, I kind of used to do it where I did in this, and this is one of those videos where I would do Ryan on defense, Zarya on attack, because of the fact that I wasn't really comfortable with playing someone other than Ryan on defense. And like I really, it was just it was the naive moment where I was like, well, and ignorance where I was like, oh well, you gotta have a shield, you gotta have a Reinhardt on defense. Maybe third season, maybe well, definitely third season, maybe fourth season, because of the fact that after the tank meta ended, you really didn't need that shield. You've got personal. Half the tanks have shields. Even more than half, actually. The only people that don't have shields are D.Va and Roadhog, I believe. So it's just one of those things. Like Reinhardt, yeah, he's got a big shield, but most of the time, you're not actually if you look at this Reinhardt over here, he's got a shield up just to protect himself. And so right here, we lost 3 people, so like I was saying, this is where you back out. I don't know what I'm doing, I died. So basically, here's your options. If you're in too deep, just die, period. If you can get out, get out. But if you can't get out, just die. Because there's no point in waiting another 10 seconds. Because then you're waiting about 20 seconds, because if you wait 10 seconds to die, you still have to take another 10 seconds to respawn. So, but like I was saying, so right here, first of all, before I say anything, this is where you stay back, because we just lost 2 people. So right now, it is the time you just stay away. Just go back to spawn if you have to, because Winston just died there, staggering himself. But like I was saying, if you're playing tanks, then you don't have to have a Reinhardt. You don't have to have the quote staple tank on defense. You can play with a D.Va Zarya. You can play Winston Zarya, Winston Reinhardt. You can play any combination of them as long as it complements your team. So right now I shouldn't be standing here because I'm just taking unnecessary damage on my shield and probably going to die. That was just the dumbest charge. I still remember doing that too, and it didn't really matter though because we already lost 2 people. So it was actually beneficial that I died there because it wasn't really gonna help me if I stayed alive. So again, it's just a problem with feeding there. But yes, so if you're playing tanks, just play whoever you're most comfortable with. I really do enjoy playing Ryan. However, I know that his hammer was slightly broken, where if you swung, at least for me, when I would swing, it wouldn't cover the whole radius when I hit, like you swing pretty much 180 degrees. Like, you can face one spot. If you turn your mouse, here's a little hint to you guys. If somebody's behind you and you swing if you swing your hammer and then you move your mouse to the left or the right, your hammer to the left, because usually you're swinging to the left first. If you sit there and you swing your hammer and then you spin your mouse to the left, you'll actually cover a larger radius. Because you swing about 180 degrees, but if you spin your mouse, you'll actually end up, your hammer still swings past your not your zoom, but past your vision. So if you keep spinning, your hammer will keep swinging that way, and you'll cover a larger radius. It's just a tip if you guys want to work on swinging, I guess, just to enhance the fun of playing Reinhardt, because he's extremely simple to play most of the time. But that was a pretty sick fire strike. Good ult there, getting the Bastion down. And kind of just trying to... it just... When you take too long to kill the other team, then... Goodness gracious. Yawning. If you take too long to kill the other team, then they're gonna come back. And that's the main problem. If you just take too long and you're not focused on targeting people down, it really just creates for unnecessary staggered time. I don't know if that makes sense, but just unnecessary time where you could have just been killing and pushing the cart, sorry. So that was a good charge on the Bastion. They really shouldn't have a Bastion right now. I don't say Reinhardt counters Bastion. However, if they were to have a Bastion, it should have been on the first point hold spot, not the not defending. If you're playing Bastion on defense, switch after they take the cart. Don't stay Bastion when they have the cart and they're trying to move it. Because no matter what, I mean, right here, the Bastion's sitting there, but then again, he gets pinned. You don't have any coverage. Like, even if you have a Reinhardt or an Orisa defending you against the Bastion, you don't have the defense and the coverage that you need to be able to keep defending. So it's just one of the things where you need to switch off before or after that first stage. Sometimes it can work, but however, most of the time it won't. So, as you can see here, we're being very aggressive with where we're holding, and that's because we don't want to give up. We don't want to give up the momentum. You want to keep the momentum going because, as you see, we pretty much pushed through the quote street phase without any contest from the other team. So that was a pretty easy stage. However, now it's more about on the second spot where we're getting really close to their spawn. It's really about keeping the momentum, because once you start losing 2 or 3 people, you've pretty much lost your momentum. Getting back on the cart is one of the hardest things to do. Or it is the hardest thing to do in this game mode, because when you lose the cart, they have time to set up so that they can actually defend it. So right here, it's pretty good looking because of the fact that we've killed both their supports. They only have about 2 people on the cart right now. So, I mean, goodness. So right here, this is where you back out, because we've just lost too many people. When there are 3 people on the cart, we're not pushing the cart right now. We're just keeping bodies on there. Yeah, you're gaining ult charge, but you're really not doing much. So this isn't really gonna go too well. And I didn't even realize. Yeah, I switched to Reinhardt. I forgot about that. Yeah, I switched to Reinhardt. Reaper jumps out of nowhere because I think he got booped. So then he dies. That was really weird. And then so now we have the advantage. So this is where you just go in. And as you can see here, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to keep my team alive, though, however. I get the Reinhardt, I pin him in the back. We're coming in from most of the sides, I believe. Except Soldier he uses his attack visor, gets the Mercy and the Pharah. So we have no more air control. And this is where things go poorly. If you're going to run a pharmacy, you want to make sure that you keep... you want to keep the Pharah alive, of course. You want to keep everyone alive. But you want to make sure that you keep your pharmacy alive, because when you have the air control over them, then it gives you quite a huge advantage. Even if they, if you have the advantage over the other team's soldier, like if your Pharah is constantly killing their soldier, that means that their soldier is just not adequate enough to do his job. Therefore, he needs to switch. If he does not switch and go switch with someone else, that is, so they can go soldier, then you have the air superiority, and that's where it's really beneficial. So again, here it's a 1-for-1 trade. However, on defense, you have a 1-to-2. I think that's right. You basically have like a 1 that Reinhardt just flies over me as he dies. But when you're on attack on these types of situations, you're pretty much at a 1-to-2 ratio when you die. That was another interesting kill right there, where Junkrat dies by my charge that was blown over. That was interesting, but yeah, again, when you die on attack, you're down 1 person, but then I shouldn't be chasing the Mercy, but yeah, you're down 1 person. However, you shouldn't be staying in the fight when it's like a 4v6, because when it's a 4v6, it's technically like a 4v8 type thing. I mean, you've put yourself down so much because of the fact that you have to travel twice as far, not even twice, like maybe 3-4 times as far as they do. So it's really not a good situation. So as you can see here, we're so close to getting the cart. It's in overtime. Get the Zen right after he comes out of his transition. Fortunately, Reinhardt was, again, I know I keep bringing up a bunch of topics, but when you're on the cart as a Reinhardt and you have your shield up, you're not protecting anyone on the ground. That's why you should not be on the cart when you're Reinhardt. Excuse me. Because of the fact that your shield is above the ground. If you jump, even if you're jumping in the air, Orisa pulls you up, an enemy of your Earth Shatter can go right below your shield. So you want to make sure that you stay on the ground. There's no need to be on the cart. Unless for some reason your entire team, or even like a Bastion or something, is on the cart, there's no need to be on the cart, because you're not protecting your team with your shield. You're protecting yourself. And that's the thing that a lot of Reinhardts have a problem with. Yeah, you can be a Platinum League or a Diamond League or whatever league, but if you keep putting your shield up only to protect yourself and maybe one other person, you're really not doing your job. Reinhardt's job is to protect his team. Something that people need to get used to, and that's what I've started to get used to more of with Reinhardt, is you want to make sure that you're not always attacking. I mean, yeah, you're on attack, you're like super hyped to be swinging your hammer and doing all kinds of stuff, but in reality, you should have your shield up a lot more of the time, and I'll try to point it out if I see it, because, for instance, when a team is in a choke point, when the other team's in a choke point, and your team's standing right there to be able to attack them, don't start swinging at the choke point. You put your shield up so that your team can freely shoot at them. Another example is if you have a soldier on your team and they have a Pharah, put your shield up to protect your soldier, so you can just stand still. Because, trust me, I know from experience, moving as soldier, if you're trying to dodge other people or even Pharah's shots as soldier while you're trying to shoot the Pharah, it's very hard, as opposed to just having a Reinhardt shield to stand behind to simply sit there and shoot. It's a lot easier, trust me. So, if you're playing Reinhardt, put your shield up. Right there, I get picked off. Nothing I can really do about that. We get 2 people picked off. This is where you back up. But my team does not back up. Therefore, in the kill feed, you will see in a few seconds, most likely, that the team is about to start dying. I think. Okay, that was weird. There it is. So, I wasn't predicting anything. I was just saying that most likely your team's gonna start dying when you're already picked. So right here, this was a bad charge. Yeah. Oh boy, the Orisa's about to die. Yay. Mercy goes down. However, well. Okay, never mind. Sorry, it wasn't overtime. Generally, it's not a good idea to charge in when it's a 4v6. However, the Mercy did have res, so I don't like, and the fact that it was overtime, it was close, like we had 1 push to go to get it, so yeah, that is smart to go in. However, in general, it's probably not a good idea to charge in like that without your team. If the other team was smart, they would have just focused down me / anyone else. So I get the Mercy, therefore pretty much securing our take on the point, because of the fact, I mean, if the other team has a Mercy who most likely has res and they go down and the rest of your team is on the cart, it's pretty much an instant. You pretty much have to get on the cart. So here you can see, finally at the point, I'm just watching that back end, because sometimes people will come through there to try to stall or even come in from behind with an ult or something for some reason. But now that we have this point right here, again, a thing that so many people have a problem with, I don't really understand it. Some people, and this is really common actually in any league that you go into. It gets less common as you go up, but so many people are so obsessed with trying to stay on the point, on defense that is, especially. They want to stay, and right here, I think, yeah, right here, I'm about to really make a mistake. I fire strike the Reaper as he's coming in instead of charging him. So, right there would have been the perfect time to charge the Reaper as he's ulting, even as he's ulting, it doesn't matter. If I sacrifice myself to kill the Reaper, my team stays alive and I die. However, my spawn is right there. His spawn is about 500 meters in the other direction. Just kidding, not 500, but it's quite far. It's literally about like 150, 200 meters in the other, on the other side. So, just one of those things, just smart play. That was not a good idea to fire strike him when that's obviously not going to kill him, and it also exposed me without a shield. So it was just one of those things, just a mistake. It's mostly my fault. Again, whatever. So here we got the point. We got the cart moved a little bit of a way, not very far, but it's better than nothing. So we're on defense now, and we're gonna hold in the same spot. Most of the time on defense, people try to attack through the same spot on the second round of attacking, and it's like, if at first you don't succeed, try again. But the quote never says from the same way. And we're going to get real deep right here for a few seconds. That's like in life. If you don't succeed, try again, but don't do the same thing over again, even if it didn't work the first time. So, like in this situation, their team is probably, well, obviously they did in the first round. You saw they kept attacking through the same spot, and they kept trying it. Yeah, it worked in the end, but it's one of those things where it wasted so much time as opposed to just trying the same spot, but right below them, where they can just run right onto the point. I know a lot of people are like, well, you give up the high ground and the other team can jump on you, but the thing is, when you come in through the bottom, if you just speed boost right onto the point, or even if you just run right onto the point, the other team can't drop down fast enough to actually ambush you. It's more of they drop down and give up the high ground as well. So our Reaper gets about 3 kills in this first fight, so that's really good. I end up killing their Reaper, very close to death, actually. So now they're down 4 people. I don't know where the other 2 are, but it's one of those things where they just didn't go in together from the start. Yeah, they're on a tight budget of time, I guess. But, I mean, right here, they should not be coming in with 4 people. Just stay back. A lot of things that people do, they just sit at the choke. Not even poking, just sitting at the choke. Just moving around, trying to get ult charge. When it's like, there's no need to do that. The fastest way to get ult charge, I promise you, is just by going in there and fighting. You will get probably twice as much ult charge if you just go in and start fighting, even if you die. Not like right away, but even if you die. So as you can see here, our Mercy got a clutch res. Torbjorn gets 2 more kills. Soldier, I get booped into the soldier, and I'm like, alright, I'm coming for you. So I start swinging at him, I come back, and then I just charge right in, because I knew that we were about to win the point. And there it is. So that's going to be the game. That was a pretty good game from both ends. A lot of mistakes, obviously, especially from myself, with the charging off the cliff, as well as the fire striking a Reaper who was about to ult, and I knew he was about to ult. And that's something you'll get with practice. You'll be able to tell when someone's about to ult. That's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like down below if you enjoyed this video. If you did not enjoy this video, leave a dislike. Let me know in the comments why you did not. All comments are welcome on that. And please subscribe to see more awesome videos like these. And let's see what else is there. I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going to have another highlight video coming out soon, so keep out for that. If you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Peace out.